As you know, we have two awards indicating the very highest achievement academically at our school. This year's award for salutatorian goes to Daniel Barron. For the very highest academic awards, as well as many other accolades that we can heap upon him, we have a student that's just impressed me immensely and has gone beyond expectations every time. He's a scholar and a gentleman, and I am so pleased to welcome our valedictorian, Stephen Lang.
Good evening, everyone. So to begin, I just want to remember what Bob Gresh said at the beginning. He said that sometimes the successful people of the world don't seem very successful because they're, for whatever reason, they're unhappy or they've got underlying issues in their life and their lives are not fulfilled. And so just to describe this more, I'm going to take this off because I want you all to remember that valedictorian and the life that I want to lead is not based solely on academics, and it's not based solely on just showing the world what I can do, but it's more than that. And so I have a line of questioning for all of you. The first question is, do you have a dream? Next, is something holding you back from pursuing it? If so, what is holding you back? Now, a seemingly unrelated question that I'll weave back into this later. What is holding you back from pursuing an intentional relationship with the Lord? Now, granted, it's a little early to say I've achieved my dreams and I've reached them. After all, as seniors, we're just getting out of the starting gate. However, I'd like to share a personal story about roadblocks and how I overcame some roadblocks over the past several years at Grace Prep. Once upon a time, academically, I was not motivated at all. I was held back by a lack of motivation. And I guess I didn't make the connection between academics and dreams. But before I came to Grace Prep, I was homeschooled. And I had a love for learning, but I just wasn't determined and I wasn't motivated. However, at Grace Prep, my first year, I got to observe one exemplary student studying, not just for a specific amount of time, but until he understood all of the assigned material. I saw what determination looked like, and somehow I made a connection between that determination and a path to success. Whatever they might be, someday, I will figure that out. But this young man, and I'm honored to have him as the salutatorian, but Daniel Barron was my inspiration to become a determined student and pursuing excellence in all that I do. So thank you, Dan. I'm sure you don't understand the impact, or you haven't realized the impact that you've made in my life, so thank you. With this reflection as the backdrop, I want to challenge the students here tonight to make the connection between being determined and positioning yourself to achieve your dreams, even if you don't know what they are yet. The bottom line is, become determined. Now, while determination is important, it's only half the battle. And I'll tell you why. God often puts a thorn in our flesh so that we remain humble, and most of all, so that we don't boast in ourselves, so that ultimately the power of Christ would be evident in our lives. My thorn was the SAT. And I know it sounds funny, but it was insanity the way that I was approaching the SAT. As many of you have probably heard, Albert Einstein's definition of insanity is repeating the same futile methods despite past failures and expecting new results. So, I approached the SAT with this thinking. I said, well, the more times I take the SAT, obviously the more times I'll get a better score. And, well, I was wrong. So, excuse me, I'm getting over the flu. So I took the SAT 5 times before I started preparing. So that doesn't account for everything else. But there was something I needed in addition to determination in order to climb this mountain. For some people it's not a mountain, but for me it was. And so applying this principle that I talked about earlier to the SAT, I needed to start well. So it may have been a bit late, but I finally changed my approach and began really preparing. After the 6th time, I got well above my goal, but only in one section. Another smack to the face. That was the moment I needed determination. I wanted to quit. I wanted to smack my head against my pillow, which I did several times. But after many discussions with my parents and after many desperate prayers, I decided that it was essential that I finish strong as well. So, now came the 7th SAT. When I received my score, I was, again, disappointed. But I was unwilling to relent. My thought at this point was, how could I have been doing this for so long and yet still come up short? It still bewilders me sometimes, but the phrase, finish strong, finish strong, finish strong, was going through my mind constantly. And so, that kept me running the race. Finally, after the 8th time. Sorry, big mistake. After the 8th time, my score was well above what it needed to be on all 3 sections. Now, I would not recommend taking the same road to get there, but this was my thorn. Yours is different. But the same principles apply. And this is where the question about your relationship with the Lord comes in. We need determination and the ability to start and finish the race well. We need to start the race, be determined along the way, and we need to actually finish the race. But I believed once that I could do all of this on my own. It seemed that as I became more confident in myself, I only persisted in my mistakes. The Apostle Paul said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Because we need Christ for everything, because we must do all things through him, I have come up with a motto for my life. And I've repeated this to myself many times as I was taking the SAT 8 times. It is, Lord, if you will be my feet, then I will walk. If you will be my mouth, then I will speak. If you will be my heart, then I will love. If you will be my strength, then I will fight or defend. If you will be my hope in suffering, then I will hope in you and you alone. It's in the tough times that we show the world who we really are. It's in the suffering that we find hope. For this reason, in addition to seeing blessings as blessings, I've learned to see suffering as blessings as a blessing as well. I learned this lesson on a small scale, but I know I will carry it with me wherever I go. I've learned the truth of Romans 5:3 that says, with joy, let us exult in our sufferings and rejoice in our hardships, knowing that hardship, which can be distress, pressure, or trouble, produces patient endurance, and endurance produces proven character or spiritual maturity. And proven character produces hope and confident assurance of eternal salvation. And such hope in God's promises never disappoints us. So, to my fellow seniors, congratulations on making it this far. While your time as a student at Grace Prep will be over in probably an hour, half hour. These principles will serve you well in whatever comes next for you. To next year's student bodies, be determined. There is still time to position yourself for your dreams, even if you don't know what they are. To faculty and staff, parents and friends, I'm not letting you off the hook either. Whatever your dreams, clearly you have started. But if you're stuck, rediscover determination and finish well. Whether in your joy or suffering, I bless you in the pursuit of your dreams. And one last remark. God told us to give thanks in all circumstances. And if I were to give thanks to everyone deserving of thanks tonight, then I would probably be here for a lot longer than graduation. So I just want you to all know that I will give thanks for Grace Prep, always. And everyone that has had an impact in my life. You have all meant the world to me. Thank you.